Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon or good evening as per your time zones, your locations. So today we are going to start with Ansible Automation. In next 5-6 days we are going to stick with Ansible Automation. So before we can start Ansible Automation, let's try to understand what exactly Ansible is and what it does. Let me take a paintbrush to explain this concept in a better way. Let us say, guys, you work for an organization and in your account, you have to manage 150, 200, or maybe more than that number of Linux machines. Then how you are going to manage a huge list of machines in your environment? For example, you manage 200 machines. On that 200 machine, you are going to install a software. Just imagine how much time it will kill to go to each machine and install a software. Forget about software. Let's say on those 200 machines you want to create a user and assign a password. So going into each machine, logging and creating the user, how much time it is going to take? Or let's say you want to copy a piece of software or a simple file on 200 machine. If you do it manually again, that's going to be a very lengthy task. So to overcome all these problems, an automation tool, which we call this as continuous deployment tool or continuous integration tool or automatic configuration tool, many names have been given to it, has been introduced. So what it does, see, basically what we do is we will take one machine as your master node. In computing language, guys, machines are also represented with a word called node. So it can be called as master node, the main node, through which we will be putting the commands or sending the codes to all the machines. Now let us say that you have a number of clients. Now those clients can be your Linux machines, or it can be your Windows machines, or IBM AX machines, whatever it might be. We have hundreds and thousands of machines that are available, right? So this fellow master node will be treated as server, and all the others will be treated as client, right? So every client, now these clients can be Linux or Windows, doesn't matter, but in our case we will be targeting only Linux environment. Usually in your environment it can be any Linux machine or Windows machine you are working, that can be in your premises, or it can be under virtualization, or it can be on a cloud, whatever it might be. Now from master node, I will be pushing the codes. The codes are nothing but installing software, creating user, doing different administrative tasks. So from one centralized server, you are going to push the code, and that code will be deployed on all the clients at a time, right? Hundreds and 200s or 300s or thousands of machine within a short span of time will receive the same thing, and they will be installing the software, updating the software, or maybe creating a user or performing any administrative tasks, whatever it might be. So how easy it becomes if you analyze this. Earlier, you have to go to each machine and do the task that might take weeks to complete your task. But now with this automation tool, from one centralized server, When you push something, push some command, push some order, so that thing is going to get deployed on multiple machines at a time. So this is lowering the time required to perform a task on multiple machines, and management of all those machines in your environment becomes simple and easy, right? So this can be done by many configuration management tools, including Ansible. So what are the popular tools that have been used in the market, guys? The popular tools that are used in the market is Chef, right? Let me write it in capital letter. Chef, Puppet, SaltStack, and Ansible, right? Ansible being one of the eldest, it came with Chef Puppet also. But anyway, I'm just writing it from my own. There is no chronological order which came first, which came next. Just randomly I have written it. There is no proper order inside it. Now guys, when we have Chef, Puppet, Salt, Ansible, many of them, why would I choose Ansible over the other configuration management tools? Why should I go for Ansible? Why not Chef, Puppet, or Salt? Obviously, you can go for it. It depends on your organization what they choose. But what I personally feel is Ansible has an upper hand on all the other tools. Not just because Ansible is a Red Hat product, but still Ansible is very smart when compared to other three tools. They are also superb, but yes, Ansible has an upper hand. What is that? See, what happens is if you go with Chef, Puppet, and Salt, if you look into these three tools, they work on server client architecture with agents. That means on a server, you have to install Chef, Puppet, Salt software. That is for sure. So on the server, you have to install Chef or Puppet or Salt. Now, each client, you have to go and install a specific agent without which it is not going to work. So if you have Chef software installed, you need to install Chef agent. If you have installed Puppet, then you have to install Puppet agent. If you have installed Salt, then you have to go with Salt agent. So it purely works on agents, and if these agents are installed, then only you can able to perform the task on that machine. If not, that task is not going to work out, right? So everything Chef, Puppet, and Salt require a special agent to be installed on all the clients you are working with. Now Ansible is little different. Ansible you just need to install on your master machine, that should be Linux, and you don't need any special software to be installed on client side. It simply works on SSH connection. See, normally Linux to Linux or Linux to AWS command line or Linux to what I can say VMware command lines or other things, we can work simply by using SSH connectivity, right? So you just need to install Ansible on the master node, and on the client you don't need any special agents to be installed. That is the reason Ansible is also called as agentless configuration management tool. So it does not requires any special software, any agents to be installed on the clients. That's the beauty of Ansible, why it is growing more when compared to other configuration management tools. And what kind of clients we can manage while working with Ansible? See, while working with Ansible, you can manage almost all kind of environments. What are those? Now you can manage direct Linux machines, right? You can manage IBM AIX. Obviously, after IBM has purchased Red Hat, they have made an extensive research on AIX, so you can even manage IBM AIX machines through Ansible. Also, it can manage Windows machine. So on Windows, we'll go with PowerShell concept, and through PowerShell, you can communicate and do any task even on Windows machine also. And here come the beauty. You can manage virtualization like VMware ESXi environment. Like you have a VMware machines, on that you want to deploy VMs, you want to do vMotion, storage vMotions, or upgradation, right? Many tasks can be done with the help of Ansible. So it can even handle virtualized environment like VMware, one of the top most leading. It can also manage AWS or Azure cloud environment. So it can also manage these two. AWS and Azure cloud environments can also be managed. So it can connect to your cloud portal, and it can deploy instances for you. It can do all instances operations, creating instance or deleting instance or like that. Or it can do all networking tasks like VPCs and other, all that thing can be done by Ansible. But in our case, guys, we are going to work with Linux to Linux environment purely, because as we have learned this Linux exclusively, so we are going to work only Linux as a master server and Linux as all our clients. But capabilities are more. If you try to search out more things, like if you go with DevOps kind of training portal, there you might learn more and more details about other operating system. But in our case, as per as RHCE, Red Hat certified engineer model, we are going to stick with Linux machines only, right? So I hope you have understood the concept that why we use Ansible. So basically, Ansible is a configuration management, continuous delivery, continuous integration, anything you can say. Normally we say configuration management tool, which can manage configurations on your client side. Okay, all right. Now let me take you back to our manual. So when was Ansible released? Was it always a part of Red Hat? No. Ansible was released as an open source software. The work on Ansible was started long time back itself, probably in 2008, 2009, when people were starting to work on these projects. Ansible was also started at those time. But slowly, steadily, it started to work to perform your task on multiple machines, and it started to catch the eye in the market. And then Red Hat, seeing the potential inside it, has acquired it in 2016. Then the first version of Ansible was actually released in 2015, 2016. Red Hat acquired it. Before that, it was already in use as an open source tool. Now, who is the developer behind it? The developer behind it is Michael Dehan, who has actually brought this idea of Ansible, and he started to work. The name Ansible was actually taken from some novel, right? There was a novel, novels what people read. So one of this guy's friend has suggested the name, that why not to use this name as Ansible. So Ansible is very much similar, as I told you, to Chef Puppet Salt, which can manage multiple machines from a single network, right, from a single place. And it works with SSH connectivity. So for Linux user, it becomes even simpler, because we are already aware how to connect to Linux machines over SSH tunnels and other things, right? So basically, Ansible is written in Python language. As you know, we have programming languages like C, C++, Java, COBOL, Python. Python is one of the promising and leading programming language that is growing in the market every day. So this thing, Ansible, is always written in Python. So it includes some Python libraries, Python modules, which we are going to use with Ansible, right? And basically, as I told you, it can manage Unix, Linux, virtualization, cloud, Windows, most of the environment in our working environments. So usually Ansible is still an open source tool, so you don't typically need any money to purchase it. You can use it in your environment free of cost, right? But they have brought up one more concept in Ansible, which is in trial. Maybe in the coming versions, we may see that full-fledged this concept might also come, called Ansible Tower. So what is that Ansible Tower? See, Ansible Tower is nothing but a graphical tool to manage your environment graphically. See, what happens is people might not be fully aware of command line. Like, you are a Linux administrator, so you know how to work with Linux and what are the possible errors you might come in Linux and all kind of thing. But many of the people might not be aware completely how to work with Ansible. So they are bringing in this concept called Ansible Tower. Now, Ansible Tower is not a free of cost tool. That means for Ansible Tower, you need to purchase this fellow. For up to 10 machines, you can test it free of cost. But if you want to go beyond 10 machines, then you need to acquire licensing. Anyway, for Linux administrator, this is never a big deal. We still love command line, so we can easily manage this thing through command line. We don't even go for towers. But yes, it's a good thing for people who only works with graphics. For them, it might give a better workability. So this is all about your Ansible, how it works. Now let's see that how we are going to work with Ansible. Let me take you to one more picture before I come back to here. See what we are going to do, how we are going to set up our lab, that I want to explain you here. See, in this particular concept, I'm going to take 5 machines. I don't want you to make 5 machines, okay? If you have a good laptop or desktop with 32 GB RAM, 2 TB hard disk, something like that, or 1 TB hard disk, you can definitely go and make this kind of setup. What I want is, I want to show you by deploying it on as many machines I can possibly show. So I have a good configuration laptop on which we are going to discuss this Ansible session. So in this, I'm going to take 5 machines, one as Ansible control station or master node, which will be our server, Ansible server, and all the other machines, the 4 machines, mhost1, mhost2, mhost3, mhost4, I'm going to take it as my Linux client. So all will be Linux as a server and Linux as our client. And this is the IP addressing what I'm going to use. If you want, you can follow the same IP addressing, or whatever IP addressing you want, you can use. 10.5 I'll be taking as a server. 10.10, 10.20, 10.30, 10.40 I'm going to take as my client. So what I did, guys, before the class start, I have just installed one machine as Ansible master. What I did is, with a simple configuration, you know how to install and create Red Hat machines, right? We have learned that. So you can even take your regular practice machines also. So far, whatever we are using, one of them you can take it as a master. There is no problem in that. So I just freshly installed one machine as my Ansible master. So this is having my Red Hat 8.3 installed. It's a fresh installation what I did. Now I need another 5 or 4 machines that has to be taken as a client. So what I'm going to do, okay, let me just group it so that it's easier for me to start and stop. See, in VirtualBox, you can group all the machines so that whenever you want, you can just so this helps me to power on, power off very nicely. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, I have an Ansible master. Now I need 4 other machines which I'm going to take as a client. So what you can do, create 4 other machines, right? And install Red Hat Linux on them. How much time it is going to take, guys, to create 4 machines and install it? It's going to take a long time, right? So I don't want you to do like that. What I want you to do is, in VirtualBox, there is a concept called cloning. Cloning will clone your first machine and create copies of it. So don't you think it is easier for me to do cloning? I'll just right click on my machine and there is an option clone. Whenever you are trying to do clone, the machine must be in shutdown state. So it's already in powered off state. I'll go with clone. Now when you go with clone, right, usually it comes like this. Just click on expert mode because everything will come in one tab. I don't have to do next. Just go to expert mode. It's asking what name you want to call it. I'm going to call it mhost1. Then it is asking, would you like to go with full clone or linked clone? Never go with linked clone. I want full clone. Full clone will make an exact copy of it, right? And next thing is you have MAC address policy. So when you go with MAC address policy, it says include only NAT. See, just change it to generate new MAC address. See, this machine is having a network adapter. That network adapter will have a MAC address. And if all clone machines have same MAC address, then you will have MAC conflict. That will be very big problem. So every clone I'm creating, I want to create it as a separate new clone. That's it, new machine. And it should have a new uh, what can I say, MAC address. So you have given the name for this clone. You told full clone, ignore snapshot. We don't have to worry about it. MAC address, change it to generate new MAC address. And let's click on clone. So you see within some seconds or hardly a minute, within some seconds, you see in 10-15 seconds, a new machine is created as a clone. So have I not saved a good time? Otherwise, I could have to do it every time. Now same way, I'll click on mhost1 and I'll clone it. This time I'll say this clone name should be mhost2. Keep everything as it is, then just click here and generate new MAC address. Clone. Wait for 10-15 seconds, your second machine is also ready. If you don't have this much of RAM and CPU and hard disk, then you can go with one master and two client. That is also fine. But I have good space, so I'm going with 4. Let me call it mhost3. Everything being same, and I'll say generate new MAC address, clone. Then I'll go for the last fellow. I'll say this as mhost4, change it to generate new MAC address and clone. So that's it guys, my lab machines are created. So first step is to have a master server and the hosts on which we are going to perform this task. So in no time, I have 5 machines ready. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to power on all the machines. I just installed it without assigning an IP address. So what I will do, I'll go to each machine and I'm going to assign the IP address. I'll change the host name and assign it. See why I created a group? Because now if I right click on the group and I'll say start, all machines will start automatically. I don't have to go to manually each machine and start it. So automation when we are doing, let's learn automation everywhere. So you see one after the other, all machines will now powered on. So first master machine powered on, then mhost1, then mhost2, mhost3, mhost4. Same way all machines will be powered on, and when you say power off, same way all machines will get powered off. So that is really a handy thing for me. Now I'm going to wait till the machine is powered up. Once the machine is powered up, then I'm going to log in graphically because there is no IP assigned. Let me go to each machine, assign the IP, and I'll test connectivity from outside. So you know how to install a machine on VirtualBox Linux machine the same way I did the task. I have not done any special thing. We have already learned how to install Linux on any machine. Same thing, I'm doing that. All right, let me go to not listed because we have to log in as root user. Type the username root, give a password Red Hat. See, I'm going to follow this scheme. Master node, I'm going to give the IP 10.5 and slash 24. Oh, I think I have assigned the IP address. Now this is going to be a big problem. I should have not assigned the IP. Now I'm just thinking that I might have assigned. Let me just verify it. So I went into activities and I opened the terminal. Let me go with if config enp0s3. Yes, now this is a big problem I did. See, we should not assign IP at the beginning only. What happens now? As I cloned it, all remaining machines will get same IP, and now I'm going to have a IP conflict issue. So what's the name of this machine? It is Ansible-C. See, I'm going to use some proper names over here, like ansiblec.example.com. What happens is when you go to write your Red Hat exam, all the machines host name, they'll ask you to put it with example.com name. So let me just at least change the name, host name ctl set host name, and I'm going to change the host name to ansible-c dot not vpts, let's call it example.com. Okay, that's fine. So our master server is already configured. I don't wanted the IP to be there, but unfortunately I made a mistake. I shouldn't have assigned the IP. Now if I take you to other machine, master server is ready, so we don't have to do anything. Let's go to mhost1. Where is mhost1? Here. Okay, let me go to not listed. I'll give root. Now you see every machine will have same host name and same IP address, and because of which IP conflict will occur. Maybe I need to restart all the machines once I assign the IP. So I'll go to activities. I'll take a terminal, and now if I say if config enp0s3, you'll find the IP is 10.5. Now this is very wrong thing I did. And you see hostname is also same. So I need to change the hostname on every machine. I'll say hostname ctl, change the hostname to mhost1.example.com. Hostname is changed. Now we need to change the IP address. So I'll go to nmtui, edit connection, the first connection I'm editing. And here I'm going to come and change the IP address to 10.10. This is the scheme we are going to follow. mhost1 will have 10.10, mhost2 10.20, mhost3 10.30, and mhost4 10.40. Okay, so same pattern I'm going to follow. All right, so let us change it to 10.10 and make sure that automatically connect is active. If you don't have automatically connect, then it will be a problem. So make sure automatically connect is selected. Now let me come back and quit. I'll say nmcli conup enp0s3. Now if I run the command if config enp0s3, IP address is changed. I'm going to check whether this IP is working or not later, not now. So let's go now to mhost2. Where is mhost2? Here. So mhost2 not listed, same steps. Login as root, go to activities, take a terminal and check host name is same. So I did a mistake. I should have not even type a host name, but anyway, host name is not a problem. The problem is with IP. So I'll say host name set host name mhost2.example.com. We change the host name now. All right. Now go to nmtui, edit a connection, edit, and just come up over here and change the IP of this second machine to 10.20. Rest everything is already selected. Make sure automatically connect is selected. OK, back and quit. Now I'll say nmcli con up enp0s3. We'll check the IP address now. Okay, I'll go with ifconfig enp0s3. So second machine IP is changed to 10.20. That's great. Now we'll go to third machine. mhost3 is here. Where it is. All right. Let me go to not listed user, log in as root and give the password as Red Hat. Same procedure we are going to follow. I'll go to activities, take a terminal, and first of all I'm going to change hostname ctl set hostname to mhost3.example.com. Then we'll go to nmtui, edit a connection, and let's edit. And what's the IP I have to use? 10.30 this time. Make sure automatically connect is selected. OK, back, quit. Now if I say ifconfig, oh I'm so sorry, nmcli conup enp0s3. Now I'll say ifconfig enp0s3. So you'll find the IP is assigned. 20, 10, 20, 30 has happened. Now it's time to go with our fourth machine, mhost4. So let me go with not listed, root, and the password. Go to activities, take a terminal, host name ctl set host name to mhost4.example.com. Okay, go to nmtui, edit connection, edit, and change it to 10.40. Let's come below, say OK, back, quit. nmcli conup enp0s3. If we check ifconfig enp0s3, we've got the IP addresses on correct point now. Let's go to nmcli on machine 1, that is our master node. Oops. And let me say nmcli conup this fellow also, so that it may refresh the interface. All right, now we'll test from our laptop all the machines are connecting or not. I'll start first with 10.5 by using ping. So fortunately 10.5 is pinging, that's great. Then I'll go to our second machine, 10.10. That's also working, it's a great thing. Then we'll go to next machine, that is 10.20. So it is also pinging. That's also great. Let's go this time with 30. That is also pinging. And lastly, we'll go with 40. So you see 40 also pinging. So probably all machines are now set up perfectly. They are having proper IP addresses assigned. So we don't need these graphical connectivity anymore. Let me just minimize them. So what we did, we installed our first Red Hat machine and we considered it to be as a master server with the IP 10.5. Then we created four other machines and assigned the IP 10.10, 10.20, 10.30, and 10.40. That's great. Now, the next thing what I have to do before I can install Ansible and all that thing. See, we need yum repository to be configured on master node, not on the clients, only on master node. And your etc host file. See, we don't have a DNS server to resolve the names. So what we can do is we can configure etc host. If you just remember or just flashback to networking class, we studied etc host. If you don't have DNS and you want to resolve host names to IPs, then we will configure etc host. So in this etc host file, I'm going to put information like that. 10.5 as Ansible master, and I'm going to use the short names master, mhost1, mhost2, mhost3, mhost4. So I'm going to put full name and I'm going to use the short names also. So first of all, I will log in into master node. So you see this is my Ansible controller or Ansible master node. We'll go to vim etc host file. Now over here guys, I don't want to type, I'm just putting it like this. To make it look better, I'll use some good spaces. Otherwise, single space is more than enough. Okay, this looks fine. So I have 10.5 as Ansible controller or master server. 10.10 mhost1, mhost2, mhost3, mhost4. Let's test it. Is it resolving or not? You can say get ent mhost1 or get ent hosts mhost1. This might resolve. Like NSLOOKUP we use for checking your DNS, and get ent you can check it as a local thing, or simply you can say ping and just press tab key. When you press tab key, you see it is reading and telling you mhost1, mhost2, mhost3. Just check it out. mhost1. It's resolving, right? You can say ping mhost2. It is resolving. You can also test the SSH connectivity. I can say SSH mhost1, right? Say yes, and I can connect, no problem. Exit. Then I'll go to mhost2. Yes, and I'll give the password. I'm able to connect, no problem. Exit. Then I'll go to mhost3. Guys, you know what I'm doing? I'm just testing SSH connectivity. Am I reachable or not? Because while I do operations, I don't want this message to come. That's the reason I'm connecting and just checking it. This is not required, but I'm just doing it. Okay. So you see all hosts I'm able to connect. Now my requirement is I want to copy etc host content to all the clients. mhost1 should have the same thing, mhost2 should also have same thing, mhost3 should also have same thing. So maybe I'll just log in into mhost1 and check it out over here. If you go to cat etc host, there is no such change. If you check out in master node, in master node you can find it is full of information. So this thing I want to copy. How I can copy it? By using SCP, right? You can say SCP copy etc host to mhost1. Where in mhost1? In etc host file. So I'm telling that copy this stuff into mhost1 etc host. But guys, if I do this 4 times, I have to manually run the command. So what we can do in here is you can use a loop concept in shell scripting. Maybe I forgot to share the shell scripting stuff with you people. I'm really sorry about it. Anyway, today after the class, I'll share it. So one small thing I'm going to teach you today is how to repeat a task number of times using a simple shell scripting concept. So guys, we use something called for. For loop is used for repeating a task number of times. Here you have to set a variable. Now that variable is nothing but the name given for set of data. For example, I can say for Ola. So Ola has become what? A variable. In this, I can store some values, right? Or if you want to use, you can just use a character like I. For I in, how many machines you are trying to connect? I'll say I want to connect to a machine called um, mhost1, mhost2, mhost3, mhost4. So in I have stored 4 values 1, 2, 3, 4. So whenever I is called, all these fours will be recalled. So this is called creating a variable in for loop, right? Then you have to say do something for me. What to do? Do SCP. I'll say SCP the file etc host to which machines. See, I don't want to type the names of the machine because already in I have declared all the machine names. How can I call I in shell script? See, whenever you want to call a variable, first you have to declare the variable, which we have done. Now, if you want to call the variable, you have to use dollar and variable name. So when you say dollar and variable name, it is going to call that variable, that is I. So I'm saying that go to that I host and put it into etc host file, right? Then I'll say done. So we have to start our task with do and finish your task with done. So what it does is first time it will call the variable mhost1 and perform the task. Then it will call mhost2, perform the task. Then it will go to mhost3, perform the task. Then it will go to mhost4 and perform the task. So like that, 4 times it is going to perform the task for us. Okay. All right. You see, when I hit enter, it might ask for password because we have not set passwordless login. So it will definitely ask for password. So I need to type. See, first mhost1, done. Then mhost2, done. Then mhost3, done. Then mhost4, done. Now you go to mhost1 and read etc host. Did you find it is updated? Go to each machine and try it out. It will show you that same is updated. Maybe you can say uh, from here ssh node 2, sorry, ssh mhost2, I'm sorry. Now you read it cat etc host. Do you see it is updated? Yes. So by using a simple for loop, I have just transferred the data to 4 machines, but it has asked me the password. I have to give a password for sure. So what we did, We have first installed the machines with Red Hat operating system, and then we have updated etc host. The same information we have copied on the clients. If you don't copy this on the clients also, it is enough, but I just want the same naming convention to be used from all the clients. On the server you did, it is more than enough. If you want, you can put the same thing on the clients, that what I showed you. Now the next thing what I want is, I don't want it to ask me for the password whenever I'm connecting. You saw when I was trying to connect, it was asking for password. So I don't want it to ask me for the password. You know how to build SSH trust relationship, right? So first of all, on the server side, I have .ssh folder. Just check in .ssh, did you have public private key? There is no such key. So I'll say ssh hyphen keygen. You know the steps. I want to store it in a default location without any passphrase. Now you look into .ssh folder, you'll find public private key is there. How you are going to copy public key on other machine? See, we have a command if you have not forgotten. SSH copy ID to mhost1, then mhost2, then mhost3, then mhost4. I am again going to do for loop. So I'll say for I, I'm using a word I, you can use your name in place of I. So in, I'll store this time 1, 2, 3, 4. Another method I'm telling you. Then I'll go with do. What to do? I'll say SSH copy ID to initial name is mhost, then number is changing. So I'll say $I. So I'm telling after the name, call the variable. So first time it will type mhost and take the number 1. Then mhost take the number 2. Then mhost take the number 3. Mhost take the number 4. Like that. Do after the command done. Again it will ask for password. So we need to give the password every time. Done. See, on all machines, I have created trust relationship. Now you say SSH node 1. So sorry. mhost 1. I'm getting a habit of node 1. See, it's getting connected without a password. How about mhost 2? No problem. How about mhost 3? No problem. How about mhost 4? No problem. So between server and client, we must have a free SSH connectivity. If it is not there, then while doing operations, we might face issues. That is the reason I have done this task on server and client. You can test the same thing by using same SSH for loop for I in 1, 2, 3, 4. Do SSH mhost $I. After connecting to that machine, I want it to run the command hostname, right? See, it is going to each machine and performing the task. Have it ask for password? No. Why? Because you have done trust relationship this time. So step number 1, install the machine. Step number 2, update etc host. Step number 3, set up SSH based passwordless login. Now once it is done, it's time now we have to configure repository. Repository is really important. I need the base repositories to be configured first. See guys, this is a fresh machine. I did not configure any repository, only on master node, not on the clients. So if I run the command dnf or yum repo list, you'll find 0 repositories because I did not created a repository. Let me go to my VM settings. In settings under storage, there is no DVD connected. You know all the steps what we have done. So let me go with RHEL 8.3 connected. First, I'm connecting Red Hat DVD. Why? Because I need to copy the DVD content somewhere, right? So let us go to master node and let me mount it first. I'll say mount dev sr0 on media folder, right? Now, if you check in media, you've got the data. See, maybe I want this directory to be reachable by clients also. So I need to first install vsftpd. Again, guys, this is the reason I told you the last class, before starting Ansible, you should brush up software management, SSH, networking concept very well. So what I'm going to do, where will be the vsftpd? In AppStream. So I'll install it by using RPM, or you can say yum install also, no problem. Yum install, you can say go to media, go to AppStream, go to packages and install vsftpd. Or you can say RPM-IVH, no problem. See, vsftpd is now installed. Now I need to copy the whole DVD into var ftp pub folder. So let me say copy recursively, verbose, forcefully, everything what you have in media folder to var ftp pub with a new name RHEL8. Guys, you are very well aware of the steps, so I'm not explaining the steps in detail because we have learned that in our Linux administration. See why we are creating a local repository, because when you install Ansible has to be installed from internet. But Ansible also have some dependencies. Those dependencies will be resolved through local repository. If you are doing the same thing on CentOS, you don't have to create a local repository because CentOS has a repository on internet. Automatically it will go to internet and resolve that. But in Red Hat, we need to create our personal repository, local repository. After that, we can go for your internet-based repository. So we are going to learn how to connect to internet to download packages. Okay, copying is done. If I go to var ftp pub rhel8, everything is copied. And locally we have a key etc pki rpm gpg key, and the name is red hat release. Okay, this is the key what I'm going to use. So guys, after copying is completed, we need to create a .repo file where in etc yum.repository. By default there is something in etc yum.repository. Let me go it first. etc yum.repository. Let's remove this file, we don't need it, and let's create a repository my.repo. Now, first of all, I'm going to create base OS. So you know all these steps, guys. I'm not going to explain anything again. Name, I'll call it RHEL8 local base OS. Then I'm going to go with base URL, and the location is file colon triple slash var ftp pub RHEL8 folder base OS, no spelling mistake. Okay, then enabled equals to 1, and I'll also give metadata underscore expire to -1 so that every time metadata should not get expired. GPG check, let's keep it enabled. GPG key address is file colon double slash. We just find out the location where it was here. So let me copy this and put it here. 3 slashes etc pki something. Now same stuff I'm going to copy one more time and I'm going to put it for AppStream. Let's come up over here and let's call it app stream. So let me change here, local app stream. All right, now here we don't have to do a spelling mistake, capital A, P, P, and stream. Rest of the thing is same. Save and quit. Now I'll say yum clean all or DNF clean all. And let's test the repository DNF repo list. It says I'm connecting to two repository. I'll say DNF provides ZSH. So it's getting connected. That's great. Fine. Now maybe same time I'll say DNF provides VSFTPD. All right, so it is connecting to both. That's great. Fantastic. Also, we need to configure FTP for Swift communication. So I'll go to etc vsftpd vsftpd.conf. Over here, anonymous enable is set to no. So we need to change that value to yes. If you are getting confused with that, guys, please watch the software management DNF repository video one time. Then we need to start systemctl status vsftpd services are down. I'll say systemctl enable now vsftpd. Services are enabled. Lastly, I need to allow FTP service in firewall. All these steps we have seen with great detail earlier. So I'm going a little faster to make our work finish. All right. So DNS is configured, DNF is configured, repository is ready. Now, in order to get Ansible, Ansible does not comes with your Red Hat DVD, right? Ansible will come with an extra repository over internet. And for this, your machine must be reachable on internet. That means your master node should be reachable to internet. How can I check? You can say ping 8.8.8, network unreachable, or say ping www.google.com. Am I able to reach out? No. That means this machine does not have internet. Now the question is, how can I enable internet on this machine? To enable internet, I have to shut down this machine first of all. So we shut down the machine, go to the settings, come to network. Already we have one adapter that is connected to our local network, which is called as host only adapter, which is working internally within our internal network. Now I need to take one more adapter, adapter number 2, and enable. Now this adapter will be talking to your public network. One adapter for our private network internally, another adapter for public. Just change the option here to NAT. See, normally we are connecting it to network address resolution protocol or network address translation, I'm sorry, service that will allow us to communicate to internet. So I'm assuming that in my laptop I have internet. So it uses laptop Wi-Fi or the wired connection as network gateway. Through that NAT gateway, it will connect to internet. So basically just think like that, that NAT will allow to connect internet. That's it in a simple terms. So one adapter host only for internal communication, another NAT for internet. Let's say okay. Now let me power on the machine. Now once the machine is up, you just need to check whether this adapter is up or not. If it is not up, just bring it up, and then you'll see suddenly internet will start. Oh, we have powered on the machine and we said first boot device. Let me go to settings. I have to change the boot order. First is I'm making hard disk. Sorry about that. So boot order was not proper. It started to boot with CD. Now it is booting our OS properly. Let's wait for 2-3 minutes till the system boots up. All right, let us reconnect. Now you see it might show two adapters, ENP0S3 with our local or private IP, and ENP0S8 is not having any IP. Why? Because if you check NMCLI dev status, it says adapter is connected. I mean, adapter is available, but it is not up. So this is not connection. This is proper adapter is not up. So just say NMCLI connect ENP0S8. Okay, NMCLI connect NMCLI dev connect ENP0S8. Now you check the status, you'll find it is up. You check ifconfig, you see it got some IP that is connecting to our NAT gateway. Now if I run ping and that 888, okay, it lost somewhere, no problem. Ping 8.8.8. Did you see it is working? Or you say ping www.google.com. So one Ethernet adapter is connecting me locally so that I can have local connectivity, and one adapter is helping me to connect to internet with the help of NAT. So now we have enabled internet on our machine. That's fantastic. Next thing is you need to download one software from internet that is going to create EPEL repository. What is this EPEL repository? EPEL stands for Extra Package for Enterprise Linux or of Enterprise Linux. So what this Red Hat people have done, they have created an internet repository so that through internet you can download extra packages that does not comes with your Red Hat DVD. Obviously it is not possible, right, to put everything in your Red Hat DVD. Already 8 GB is the size. Now if they keep on increasing, it becomes 50 GB, 60 GB also. So now then what they realize that, okay, we'll do one thing, that important packages we will give it with DVD. Extra packages whenever you want come to EPEL. It's a free thing. You don't have to pay anything to connect EPEL. So if you just search on Google how to connect EPEL repository, it will automatically take you to some Fedora project. This is original location. Just go to Fedora project, and here you will get instructions. It says you have to install a package. On Red Hat 7 this command you have to run, on Red Hat 8 this command you have to run. That's what it is trying to say. So you must be first connected to internet. So as you know, I have already connected to internet, right? So I'll just copy this stuff, come to my machine, and I'll run this command. We also need to add -y so that it may continue installation without prompting yes or no. So now it is going to Fedora website, download that package, RPM package, and configure EPEL repositories automatically. So it's an auto configuration of repository. We don't have to configure any repository. Previously, when we configure repository, we had only two repositories. If the output is there, I can show you. Right. So earlier you see when I run the command dnf repo list, I was only having AppStream and base OS, isn't it? Now, if I run this command dnf repo list, you'll see how many repositories it will tell you. It says I have EPEL modular. Now you just search DNF provides Ansible. We could have tested before also. Um, Provides. Okay, spelling mistake I have done. Now it will search on internet under EPEL repository. Does it have Ansible or not? You see, it says yes, Ansible 2.9.23. That is the latest version available, and it is coming from EPEL repository, right? Now I can go and do. And what is this? It says it is SSH based configuration management, configuration deployment, and task execution system. So briefly, it is explaining what Ansible is. So once we are connected, repositories are configured. Let me show you one more thing. If you go to etc yum.reposd, you see many other repositories are created automatically. We created only my.repo. This got created by installation of that software what we have installed. Now it's very simple for us to install Ansible. Once the internet is ready, once the repositories are created, I just need to say dnf install ansible-y. If I check rpm-q Ansible, it is not installed. Now I will say dnf or yum install Ansible-y. Okay. See, Ansible requires many libraries and other things to be installed. So these dependencies will be resolved mostly from your local repository. You see, base OS, AppStream, base OS, AppStream. So if I don't configure the local repository, I will not be able to install Ansible. That's the reason first I configured the local repository. Then we connected to internet and configured internet repository, and now the packages are getting installed. So in this we have also learned how to configure EPEL repository to get extra packages through Red Hat CDN, Content Delivery Network, or through which they can share lots of other software. Now if I say rpm-q Ansible, it says Ansible is installed. Or you can run exclusive Ansible command, Ansible-version. So when you run Ansible version, it tells you that what is the version you are using, which configuration file it is using, and where is the command line working through, all that thing. And it has also working with a Python version 3.6.8. Right? And what is your Red Hat version? Red Hat version is 8.3. It is using some C libraries and other things also, it is telling us. So that's great, guys. This is how we have to configure our machine and install Ansible. So today's task, I'm going to stop here only. Step number one, install at least 3 machines, and maximum you can go with 5 machines if you have a space, one as a master server and other ones as a client. On master server, we have to configure yum repository local. Also, before that, you have to make a trust relationship between server and clients, and also share etc host file if you want on all the clients. But trust relationship is mandatory, what we have to do. Second step, configure a yum repository local. Then go to Fedora project and get, I have stored the URL. If you don't want to go to Fedora location, just copy it from here and that is enough, right? And install it. So once you configure your local repository and internet-based repository, then you can go ahead and install Ansible. So keep Ansible installed. Tomorrow onwards, we will start working with Ansible command lines and many other things. As far as today's class is concerned, guys, if you have any questions or queries, please put your questions now. Yeah, definitely I'll share the shell scripting stuff by today. You'll get the shell scripting stuff also, don't worry about it. Okay, so see, the method what I showed you is the standard method of doing it. If you want one-on-one, if you don't want to use the for loop, then that's the reason. Once you made passwordless connectivity, you don't have to remember the passwords anymore, right? So what I did, initially all machines I have kept the same password. So through same password I got connected, right? But once you configure Ansible, in Ansible also we are going to learn how to do this setup, SSH passwordless key. So there I'll show you one more method. So today we have not started working with Ansible, right? So we are configuring. So for today, if you follow these steps, it would be good. For one time, we have to take this pain of typing the passwords and all. Once the Ansible is configured, this is going to be very interesting. One time we have to do it. Next, everything will be handled by Ansible for us. Yes, in future. Once the Ansible is ready, then you'll see how beautifully we are going to deploy everything without any hurdles. Okay, well then guys, so we'll stop the session here and please watch the recording and go through the steps. If you are doing practicals with me every day, then make sure you are with me with all the practicals. So we'll stop here guys. See you tomorrow and continue with Ansible configurations and command lines. See you tomorrow guys. Thank you very much.